blog is inspired by my garden, and many of my blogs are, but this one is directly related, and really it's how you tell the difference between a flower and a weed. And there's a whole train of thought that there really is no difference. And so, how do you choose what you want and what you don't? What you want to pull out of your garden, of your life, of your experience, so that you have more energy, more nutrients, more time to really cultivate and grow what you want to blossom in your garden, in your life, in your experience. And it's springtime. We're still in spring, even though here in Texas we feel very headed towards summer. Um, and life is just blooming everywhere. And in my yard, in my garden, I mean, there is so much life coming out of every single crack of my patio, of my garden, in my yard. And there were weeks where I just watched all these little tiny seedlings grow. Every day I'd walk out, or every other day I'd walk out and I'd look and I'd be like, what is that growing? Like, it looks like a plant. It doesn't really look like a weed, but I don't remember planting it. Or I certainly didn't plant that there, but there it is growing and like getting bigger. And some things I can identify and some things I can't. And so this happens to all of us in our life, right? We set intentions, we plant seeds, and life happens. Life force energy comes forward, things grow. And, if we're not attentive, if we're not consistent looking and assessing, all of the sudden we have this huge kind of life that is full of really big weeds and really big flowers. And sometimes lots of other things, right? And so, that is, what are the things that you really enjoy? What are the things that you really like? And what are the things that, aren't attractive to you, aren't feeding you, aren't bringing you joy? Sometimes it's really obvious, right? Like sometimes you can look at it and be like, oh, yeah, that's got to go. It's taking way too many resources and it's not working out and I don't like it. So it's really got to go. And sometimes it's really not obvious. Sometimes we have to wait and be patient and see how things unfold, see what grows, see how things grow. Sometimes things just die off naturally, and that's fine. And other times, it just takes a little while for us to discern whether it is growing into something we want or growing into something that we don't. And so you just have to have a lot of patience and open-mindedness about it and curiosity about it and kind of see and experience what happens there. And then oftentimes we're just super pleasantly surprised that things we planted a long time ago finally have the right conditions to sprout and come forward. And this certainly happened to me this year, where I had these flowers that I have been wanting to grow for a long time, planted so many seeds in all different places. And this year I got one amazing plant with these beautiful flowers. But it really took patience and intention that, like, okay, I'm just going to keep trying, just going to keep trying to find the right conditions and putting it forward um, and being patient and see what happens. So, there is no right answer and there is no wrong answer. Certainly, if you pull too many things out, right, then you just have a blank slate to start again. And sometimes that's fine, right? Sometimes we just need to clear the slate. And, we're in a time period of clearing the slate, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that's ready to be let go. There's a lot of things that are already changing, and you can just let them keep changing, right? And that's okay. Um, but those things that you are excited about, those things that are beautiful, that are joyful, that um, bring you more life, those things, like, get the right fertilizer, take some time, be patient, put them in a place that they're going to really flourish, right? That's actually what I did with many of my seedlings this year. I had seedlings everywhere, and there were places that I really wanted them. So I gently, patiently, lovingly took them from their little volunteer area and put them into another place. So that takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort. However, it also means that like you could create a lot of really amazing beauty in your world and in your life and let things grow in a healthy, harmonic way. So, we are still in this time period of letting go. We're still in this time period of the things that aren't working, that don't fit in, that are draining your energy. It's really time to let them go. And we need to create that space. We need to clear that space out because as summer continues to come forward, right, we're going to have more light. We're going to have more energy. We're going to enter into that fiery period of time where like a lot of energy is going to come forward. So let that enhance what is already growing, what is already thriving in your life. And this is really the time that we do that. So I really encourage you to do that. And this is really a way that you begin to own your own energy, right? When you just let everything grow, then it it can be okay, right? It can be okay, but it can also really deplete you and can really spread you thin and really dilute your purpose and what you're meant to do. It's not clear, right? So the more clarity we get and the more we really consciously work with our own energy and how our own energy is being used and what we're putting our energy towards, right? Then we get better and better and better at owning our own energy. So those things, those weeds that you have deemed weeds, and you get to deem what's a weed and what's not a weed, right? Those weeds in your life, those are areas that you're not utilizing your own energy or owning your own energy in a way that thrives and enhances you and really allows your life to expand and grow and lets you be more you, right? They're a distraction. And so the more consistent we can get, which is what weeding is, right? Is this consistent practice of being like, okay, let's take that out and let's refocus on really what the intention is. Let's refocus on what is creating beauty and thriving us and allowing us to grow and share our purpose and our gifts. And the more consistently we can do that, the more we really learn how to own our own energy, and then we get clearer, then our life gets easier, then things come into place more fully. And we eventually weed less, right? The weeding never goes away. You always have to have this consistent practice. And what I tell my clients is you always have to choose again. No matter how many times you take something out of your life, there is that opportunity, especially if you have strong subconscious patterns, that it will come back up. And in my world, the language that I use is things that you haven't consciously planted, i.e. weeds, right? Things that are sprouting and growing that you didn't consciously put there or intend to grow there, that usually that in our world always comes from your subconscious. And so if the weeds are just a way that your subconscious is showing you what's there. And so they're an opportunity for you to go in and clear out that pattern, that thought process, that framework, that belief structure, whatever it is that is allowing that unconscious manifestation to come forward. The weed is the results of that are really a chance for you to say, okay, that's some part of my subconscious that I really have turned a blind eye to and haven't really looked at and haven't really cleared out, right? And so we will get the opportunity to choose and choose and choose again what we want and what we don't. And and that process never goes away. We have free choice. We can always choose other things. And so the more consistent and the more active you become and really choosing what you want and what you're meant to do, what you're designed to do, what the creator intended you to do, when you share your gifts and really value your gifts, things flourish and come forward in quite a different way. It's not necessarily easier like this, or I should say, I haven't gotten to the point that it's easy, like effortless. Actually don't believe that it ever becomes effortless. But you begin to understand the principles and the dynamics behind it. So it, it's not so foreign. It's not such a struggle to understand. The mechanisms are in place. And so, in gardening, it's easy, right? You just pull it up and those seeds just keep coming. So, you have to pull and pull and pull until you figure out how to do it differently. And sometimes that's easy, and sometimes that's just consistent practice. Uh, in the work that I do with people, the way we do it is we use those weeds to really figure out where the source of those seeds are, and from that source, really take them out. We do that through breath work, and we do that through energetic awareness and energetic processing. It's super effective. um, but my clients, over and over again, the consistency is key. It's one of the reasons why I developed the Temple of Light meditation, because that is a consistent practice where you can really kind of clean your energy field, clean your space. So there is less of the unconscious manifestation. It's still there, it still happens. We still have our patterns come forward, but the clarity with which we see it and the tools we have with which to deal with it become much more refined and easier to work with. So, as in all things, consistency is important, consciousness is important, and really stepping into that place of owning your own energy, consciously choosing what you want to create and what you want to grow and thrive is also important. And then remembering that we get to choose again. We get to choose and choose and choose again. So, this year you choose, or this season, and by season, that could be whatever frame of time a season is for you. That could be, 3 months, 4 months. It could be a season of your life. It could be a period of time that will end, right? And so, what do you want to grow? What do you want to foster? What do you want to create? And know that you always have the opportunity to choose again. You can grow it, you can taste it, you can experience it, and then realign and see what's next. So that is the beauty of life. That is the beauty of nature. And the more we can settle into kind of this flow and this practice and this experience, the easier it becomes to understand the mechanisms and how it works. So starting with the simple things, right? That's why I like to start with what's in front of us, of the garden and what's happening in front of you and what's it showing you. Nature is the most profound teacher, and so seeing what she has to say about it and how that comes back into our own life is incredibly powerful. So take a little bit of time and think about your garden, right? Either your physical garden or the garden of your life. And what do you want to pull, and what do you want to grow? And yeah, see how that goes. All right, enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to find out more information about me or my offerings, please check out my website, danashamas.com. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter. I send them out weekly with tips, insights, rituals, meditations, personal updates, special events, and offerings. So I know you don't want to miss out. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to connecting soon.